So what if I tell you that I want to divide 10 by 0 and I want to print the result in my debug logs? Can I do that? Let's try that out. I'm going to have a double variable and let's call it result. And here I'll try to divide 10 by 0. And then let's print the value of this result. So what do you think will happen? Let's execute this code and see by ourselves. Our program throws an exception, which is a math exception, and it says we are trying to divide something by 0, which is not possible. And that's why our program did not execute and we don't see our debug logs printed as well. So as soon as Apex tried to execute this statement and tried to calculate the result, it found out that it's not possible and it's an exception. And there's an exception thrown here and rest of our code was not executed. And in this video, we are going to learn about exceptions only. Many a times when you execute your code, you see different exceptions thrown by Apex. And these exceptions stops the execution of your code. So an exception is nothing but the errors thrown by Apex to stop your code execution. And Apex language has a lot of exceptions for different type of events. For example, if you are doing some kind of DML operation and your DML operation is failed, then you will see a DML exception. We have just looked at the math exception as well. There is SOQL exception as well, and so many other type of exceptions that Apex throws. As soon as an exception is thrown, the rest of your code will not execute. Even the code that was executed before will be reverted or will be rolled back. So if you are doing some kind of DML operation in your code before the exception was thrown, then that complete transaction will be rolled back and your database will be restored to the previous save point or the previous state. Now let's go back to our developer console and let's try to generate some exceptions. So here we have already seen the math exception. Let's comment this line and let's try to see few more exceptions. Let's say I want to create a new account record. Let's call it ACCREC and let's create the account record. But in this account record, I'm not going to specify the name of the account. But if you notice, the name is a mandatory field on the account object. You would see that star mark beside the account name. So we should not be able to insert this account, and as soon as I write my DML insert statement and pass my account reference here, this code should throw an error. So let's click on execute highlighted, and this time we are getting DML exception. So this is another type of exception that we are getting. Let's try to observe few more. Let's comment this code and let's create a string variable, maybe like str, and let's try to convert the value of this str to lowercase. And notice that we haven't initialized this variable yet, or we haven't assigned any value to this variable yet. So this is a null variable, and as soon as you will try to convert it to the lowercase or maybe uppercase, we should get a null pointer exception as well. So I'm going to do it like str to lowercase, which is a method on string class, and let's execute this code, and here we are getting the null pointer exception. And this is a very famous exception that you will be seeing very frequently when you will be writing code on top of Salesforce platform. You can also generate an exception programmatically using the throw keyword, and you can use it in some scenarios where you want to stop the normal code flow or the normal code execution and you want to revert the complete transaction. So you can throw these exceptions deliberately by yourself as well. So let's go back to the developer console and let's try to see the usage of throw keyword. I'm going to write some comment here. This will throw the null pointer exception. This will throw the DML exception, and the first one will throw the math exception. Now let's comment these lines as well, and here we will be throwing an exception programmatically. So let's comment that as well. So let's use our throw keyword, and then we are going to throw the null pointer exception. So we are going to use our new keyword to initialize the null pointer exception, and that should be it. Let's select this code and click on execute highlighted, and this is how we are getting the null pointer exception. And here if you'll notice the message, it says script thrown exception. That means we ourselves has thrown this exception. So this is all in this video. Just one thing to remember is, once a code or once a program throws an exception, the complete transaction is rolled back, including your DML transactions as well. In the next video, we are going to have a look at how we can handle these exceptions so that they don't interrupt the normal code execution of our program.